All right, welcome back, everybody. We are doing an emergency podcast, an emergency episode of the podcast. This will not be included as like a regular episode. We'll call it an emergency episode.
Yeah.
When news about movies or games or something we're interested in comes out, we will release emergency episodes that aren't included.
And this one we're talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
No,
I'm kidding. That's my one.
So anyway, we actually just finished recording the podcast episode for this upcoming Monday, but we wanted to talk about this before Monday, so this video will be out very soon.
Yeah.
Like today's Thursday, it'll probably be out tomorrow. It'll be out Friday.
Yeah.
But today we wanted to do an emergency episode of the podcast to talk about PlayStation and Xbox ruining the world of gaming.
It is. They are.
So,
Dookie.
it was announced yesterday morning, as we're recording this, that PlayStation in 2028, January of 2028, is halting all production of physical copy games.
Oh my goodness.
And they're switching to full digital.
Oof.
So, we're going to talk about why this is bad. If you are really like on the fence, like you don't really know enough about it to know if it's good or bad, we're going to talk about why it's bad and why it is the death of gaming.
Yes.
And there's only one way to stop it, and we're going to talk about what that way is.
Yes.
So I'm going to give some of my thoughts about it. He's going to give some of his thoughts about it, and then we're going to talk about how can we stop this.
How can we make a solution?
So, I'm going to start off. This is horrible. This does now confirm that the PS6 will be a digital exclusive console. There will be no physical copies of any PS6 games. So, number one reason why this is bad is collecting. You can't collect games anymore.
Nope.
People that collect the case art and the discs, you can't do that anymore. This is going to make retro game stores go out of business eventually. It's going to be a long-term thing because for now they'll have PS5s and PS4s and all the old systems that they can rely on.
Yeah.
But we're talking way later down the line, 2040, 2050. They're going to run out of stuff to sell because we're going to progress and have system after system after system that's just digital. So it's going to put retro game stores out of business. It is going to make Sony and Microsoft and whatever company that owns these consoles, they control the frickin' market and consumers can do nothing about it.
Nope.
Because the way this is going to work is they're going to price a game on the digital store, and a new priced game usually goes for about $80, $70 to $80.
Yeah.
If you have a disc game, the price is going to drop the older the game gets.
Yeah.
And you can buy a pre-owned copy for even cheaper.
Yeah.
You're going to be forced to buy the digital version from the PlayStation Store, and it's going to be $79.99 or $69.99. And the price isn't going to drop because they're going to keep it at whatever they want to keep it, knowing that they are the demand.
Yeah.
Right now, if you want to play a game, you can go to GameStop or you can go to a retro game store and you can buy a pre-owned copy of the game.
Yeah, for about like
30, 20, 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
Now Sony's going to be like, you have no other option but to purchase it for us.
Full price.
From us. Full price. Yeah. Another thing about this, Sony announced a couple weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, that they are doing flexible pricing.
Ooh.
So, I don't know if you heard about this.
No, I have not.
But Sony is going to give different users different prices on games. So,
Favoritism.
I could get a sale on my PlayStation for a game for $50. But then for Logan, it could be the full $70 price tag. So they are doing that kind of pricing, which is just wrong. I don't know how that's even legal.
No.
And then, on top of that, less than a week ago, Sony announced that they are removing hundreds of movies off of the PlayStation Store because they have canceled their agreement with that movie studio. So they can't have the movies anymore. So people are like, okay, I bought these movies. Are you going to refund me?
No.
And Sony said, no, you bought the license to watch the movie, but you don't own the movie. And that license can be revoked at any time. And that's what happened. So now Sony, with games, and this is very important, and I'll give some examples. If a game studio shuts down, or if a game studio loses licensing to a character, they will be able to take the game off the PlayStation Store. And if you have bought it, you can no longer play it. It's just gone. You wasted your money. An example is the Deadpool game. The Deadpool game was a very well-received game back in the 2010s era of gaming. and the company that made it lost their licensing to Deadpool. The game got taken off of PlayStation Store, Xbox Store. But if you have the disc, you can play the disc version. And so you can still play that game if you have the disc. That is no longer a viable option because if that company loses the licensing to that character, you just lose the game and it's gone forever, like it never even existed. So they're going to have all the power in their hands for what you pay, for what you can play, for how long you can play it, when they're going to take it away, and they hold all the power. This is not even mentioning how the PS6, they're taking away buttons off of the freaking controller. Mm-hmm. They're making it a touchpad where you touch which button you want, but it's just a touch screen.
Yeah.
Number one, this is going to boost their profits too, because if your PS6 controller breaks, if a button breaks, that means the touchpad broke, which means all the buttons are broken instead of just one, meaning you have to replace the whole freaking touchpad every single time you need to replace a button. You're going to have to replace the whole touchpad. They're going to charge a crazy amount of money for that, meaning it's going to be super fragile. If a kid throws their gaming controller, or if a kid gets mad, or even if you just drop accidentally your gaming controller, a touchpad is way more fragile than buttons. And so this is just horrible for the world of gaming, and we felt the need to address it. I am going to talk about how I feel like there's a solution to change the course of how this is going. But before I do that, I'm going to let him give some of his thoughts.
I'll give a little brief stuff with Dan, what Dan said. Dude, I love collecting. I love owning the physical DVD when you buy DVDs or video games because I own it. Yeah. I have the disc. I have the case. I own it. No one can take that away. And so when you're collecting stuff, I mean, you want to fill out your bookshelf. You want to get, I don't know, Wolverine or Spider-Man 3, which there's not going to be a disc for. That's going to be one of the first games to be fully digital.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I have Spider-Man, I have Miles Morales, and then I have Spider-Man 2. What about Spider-Man 3? Oh, that's going to be on my PlayStation 5, my PlayStation 6, maybe 7. I don't know. But that really sucks. And it's just, when you look at it, a standard game, whether it's disc or digital, a standard edition, I'm going to take Indiana Jones in the Great Circle, for example. That was a $69.99 game. That was the base game. The additional content was an extra $10, $20. So that comes out to $79.99, $89.99. So that's deluxe. All right, I'm okay to spend the digital content because it doesn't really matter. But the base game does matter. That I fully own that. What I heard PlayStation like a month ago, and I think they took that away. But just like with the Red Box, you don't really own the game. You have to check in with the internet every 30 days for your digital games, and then they can take that away. So I'm spending $90 on a game and have all that money removed for 30 days later. So I've just lost $90 on a deluxe edition of the game, and then I have to spend another $90 to then rebuy the game. That's dumb. What they raised prices on PS Plus. So I'm a three month dude. So I spend $24.99 a month for 3 months for PlayStation Plus. That's great because I can upload the data for my PS5 games to the cloud and then delete the game, and then I can still have more storage but still the save data. That's great. Well, digital games cost more storage than physical copies. So you're talking either spending $200 to get a 2 terabyte extended hard drive for the PS5. So you're dropping more money to get more storage for games that require more storage, but you don't really either fully own them or you don't have space for them. So you're required to spend on PS Plus. For new users, PS Plus is now, or will be, $27.99 or a little bit more or less. So they're raising the price on PS Plus for people who need it for more storage. So that's dumb. What I saw on the internet. So PlayStation's original slogan was "Play has no limits." Well, now their new slogan will be "Limits have no play." So they're limiting how much play you can have. I could get a physical copy of of 007 First Light, I can play the game, and then I can let Dan borrow it for him to play on his console.
Yep.
You can't do share play anymore, so that sucks. That sucks. And it's just it's a crapshoot for more money. They're raising the prices on games, so games are more expensive. Getting subscriptions on there costs more money. Controllers, shoot, I'm spending $70 a controller, so you're dropping hundreds of dollars on another console, more controllers, more games, all for that to be wasted away and not be of use. And so it really questions. I mean, back in the days where AI data centers weren't really a thing, we were chilling with PS3 and PS4 and Xbox 360 and had share play, and we were fine. But now this is causing us more money to spend, and it really sucks. And maybe Nintendo could bring back a little bit because they have little game cartridges that are really sturdy. So is the console wars over between PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC? Maybe. I don't know. But it's 70% of that is wasted.
We're going to get into that now next. So, I think Nintendo has a very good solution that they figured out about game sharing for digital games.
Yeah.
So if PlayStation adapts this, it can be a little better, still not preferable. You want to have those disc games.
Yeah.
But Nintendo, they have now what's called family sharing.
Yeah.
And you can add someone to your family, and you don't really have to prove that they're part of your family.
No.
You can just add a Nintendo account as your family member.
Yeah.
And you can share your games with them.
Yeah.
And so any digital game you can share with anybody in your Nintendo family. And so I feel like that's a pretty good solution. If PlayStation were to put that in effect, that makes things a little bit better.
A little bit better.
I don't think they will because they're greedy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to talk about the precedent that this sets and an example in history. And while he was talking, I was writing down some stats. So I'm going to read to you. The only way that we can fix this is with a widespread mass boycott of PlayStation.
Yeah.
So people, as of yesterday when this news came out, I've seen floods of stuff on the internet of people are canceling their PS Plus subscriptions in massive numbers and massive waves. So that's a good start. That is a very good start. But it's going to require more than that. When the PS6 launches, which is expected for about 2028 right now at this point, when the PS6 comes out within the next year and a half to 2 years, we need a mass boycott of PlayStation 6.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are like, well, will that even work? I have an example from history that'll show you that it'll work. And if the people will show the gaming companies what they really want and they're not going to pay for anything else, the gaming companies will listen.
Yeah.
Because here is what happened before with Nintendo. The Wii came out in the early 2000s. It was seen as a hit.
Yeah.
It was a very good selling console. The Wii has sold 101 million consoles from release date to now. They have sold 948 million games. That's just any game. 948 million games, with their top game being Wii Sports at 82 million sales of Wii Sports. People wanted, there was the Wii at the time, there was the 3DS at the time. People wanted a combination. People wanted, I want to be able to play on my TV, but I want to be able to take it on the go with me. I want my 3DS and I want my Wii as like a combination.
Mm-hmm.
So Nintendo promised that, and people were excited. Then they announced the Wii U, which is just a barely upgraded version of a Wii. Now, there are some parts of it that are kind of good. It has an HDMI port. The original Wii does not, so the graphics are a little bit better. But it's a basically just barely upgraded Wii. People thought the gamepad was going to be that thing with, oh, if you don't want to play on your TV, you can take the gamepad with you. You can walk away, go in your car, or whatever. The gamepad doesn't work if you take it out of 30 feet range of your freaking console. So it's basically a Wii. People were furious. We just read the Wii sales. The Wii sold 101 million consoles. People boycotted the Wii U. The Wii U sold 13.5 million consoles. So it dropped from 100 million to 13 million.
Ooh.
That is I'm not great at math, but 87 million, 88 million console drop. They sold 88 million less consoles than they did of their previous console. The game sales for the Wii were 948 million. The Wii U sales, they sold 103 million. So the consoles dropped by 88 million. The game sales dropped by almost 900 million, yeah. 800 million, 850 million drops. That is insane. The top selling game for the Wii was Wii Sports at 82 million. The top selling game for the Wii U was Mario Kart 8 at 8.5 million sales. So you see a drop of 70 million in games. You see a drop of 850 million in console, or 850 million in games, 80 million, 70 million in top game, and 88 million in consoles. So you see this huge drop off of sales from the Wii to the Wii U. It's because people mass boycotted the Wii U. Yeah. Nintendo folded. Nintendo gave us the Switch, which is what everybody wanted. Play on your TV like a Wii. It even has the motion controls that you can use like a Wii, but you can also take it on the go like a 3DS. It is what people have been asking for from the get-go. Nintendo caved, they made it, and their numbers jumped back up higher than ever. 155 million consoles sold. That's more than the Wii. That's more than any console they've ever made. 1.5 billion games sold.
Wow.
And keep in mind, the Switch has only been out for 9 years. The Wii, in over 20 years, has not even hit 1 billion games, and the Switch hit 1.5 billion. So, in 9 years, that's a big amount. Mm. The top game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 71 million sales. Mm-hmm. So this is just proof that if there is a mass boycott, if we the people will show the gaming company what we want, that we can affect what they do. Because ultimately, all they care about is money. Yeah. And if they aren't getting their money, they will revert and switch to what's going to make them money. So there is a way to do this. Everybody, once the change goes into effect, January of 2028, we have 18 months. Once that change goes into effect, don't buy a single game. Mm-hmm. So between now and then, you can buy physical games, whatever you want to do. Yeah. Starting January 2028, don't buy a single game for your PS5. Nope. Not digital. Don't buy any digital games. Don't buy a PS6 when that launches in summer or fall of 2028. Don't buy a PS6. If we have a mass boycott and PS6 does not sell, that can cause them to revert and change. Yeah. So, there is a precedent with the Wii to the Wii U to the Switch. Yeah. If we do this right as a community, we're fine. We can change the course of how this is going. Yeah. But if people cave to it and just give in and buy the digital consoles, it's going to be the end of gaming. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. And final thoughts for me. Man, I have a PC, and I mean, even getting stuff for what I need, or maybe we'll need in 5 years, it increases the price on AI data centers. Yeah. So that increases the price on my end. I mean, shoot, I've got PS5 disc edition because I love the disc. I don't want to get physical or digital games if I don't have to. And so you're saying you're spending $800 for a PS6, which is going to go fully digital. They talked about the 7, at least the 7, being fully digital. So 6 might be physical and digital.
Well, now 6 is not going to be. Yeah, because since the 6 is not coming out in 2027. We know that for a fact. And since they announced that since they announced that physical games are stopping January 2028, that confirms the 6 is fully digital.
So it's they and last thought for me, they think we're suckers because we're spending money. Yeah. They think we're stupid enough to drop, I don't know, $600 on games and PS Plus and more consoles because we want the new thing. It's the same with the iPhones. Yeah. I mean, as the iPhones get newer, it's the same thing. It just has, instead of 2 cameras, have a 3 camera, has better resolution. That's
We're gonna
dumb.
upgrade it just a little.
We're gonna upgrade it a little bit and double the price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that dumb. And if
So the difference to me though is, at least they haven't given us an iPhone that drops in quality.
No.
This would be like, so we're on the iPhone 17 right now.
Yeah.
If September rolls around and the iPhone 18 comes out, and they go, we have the iPhone 18 that now has the specs of an iPhone 12.
Oof.
That's what this is. We're going from PS5 to a PS6 that is worse quality than the PS5.
Yeah.
It would be like going from iPhone 17 to the iPhone 18 is now the specs of an iPhone 12. That's what this would be like.
So, lesson of the day, don't give in. Be happy with your PS5.
Yes, so once PS6 comes out, just be happy with your PS5. If you want new consoles, buy Nintendo right now, buy Switch 2, buy Switch, whatever. They're still making game cartridges.
Yeah.
So go Nintendo if you gotta go new. If you want a new console, go Nintendo.
Yeah.
But for now, stick with your PS5. Don't
Yeah.
buy any digital games.
No.
So once the physical game distribution stops in 2028, don't buy new games, because new games are going to be digital only.
Yep.
Be happy, be content with what you have of your physical collection. Keep going and supporting your retro game stores by buying physical discs.
Yep.
And boycott Sony, so that way we can hopefully change things.
And that may change things for Xbox with new.
Xbox has been dying.
Yeah,
Xbox
we already
has
know
been
that.
down a bit.
If you're an Xbox guy or person, then PlayStation is better. But
No, but I mean, officially, as of today, as of yesterday, Nintendo has won the console wars.
Yep.
I mean, Xbox and it was, for me, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox.
yeah,
Nintendo just jumped PlayStation.
yeah,
And it's Nintendo up here, and it's PlayStation and Xbox down here
yeah.
now.
It is that big of
So-
a difference. So
Yeah. Anyway,
thank you.
support the movement. We wanted to do an emergency pod to talk about
Yep.
that, give our thoughts about that. Any comments, leave them down below.
Mhm.
Be sure to support the brands that are supporting the players.
Yeah.
That's the message. Anyway, check out our podcast episode on Monday. Saturday, check out Logan's new Spider-Man video from Spider-Man Let's Play. And we will see you guys next
Yep.
time. Bye.